Hi, it's Lulu again. I'm in the story. He lived only to drink. That starts on page 446. On the bottom of page 450, onto the top of page 451. Love this, okay? I was able to realize that this bonfire of resentment and rage was beckoning me to pick up a drink and plunge into my death. Then I realized that I had to separate my sobriety from everything else that was going on in my life. No matter what happened or didn't happen, I couldn't drink. In fact, none of these things that I was going through had anything to do with my sobriety. The tides of life flow endlessly, for better or worse, both good and bad, and I cannot allow my sobriety to become dependent on the ups and downs of living. Sobriety must live a life of its own. Sobriety must live a life of its own. It's a separate entity. It's always separate, and it's always number one. It's always number one. It can't be contingent on the ups and downs of life, or the better or worse of life, and the way that life flows endlessly, ebbs and flows, ups and downs, things that seem like good things, bad things, situations. Life is just a series of situations. Don't be too anxious for one to pass on, because there's going to be another one. There's going to be another one, and you might be careful what you pray for. That's what I'm saying. I mean, what would we do with ourselves if there was no situations? There are opportunities to build our character. They're not, my sobriety, my abstinence is not contingent on what goes on today. Whatever goes on today, whatever happens today, my sobriety and my abstinence has a life of its own. It's a separate entity. It's if it's the only rock solid thing in my life, it's a good day. Everything else, I don't know what's going to happen. One thing I do know is that I have my abstinent food plan for today, and my plan is to eat those and to not drink alcohol, and to not smoke cigarettes. And I think there's a really good chance that's going to happen today for me, because it's extremely important. But life ebbs and flows, Thank God that this book gives me a new design for living, so I know what to do with those things, so that my sobriety can have a life of its own, and those things are handled in another way. And that's the whole point. The whole point of the book is a spiritual awakening. Step 12, having had a spiritual awakening as the result of these steps. So it's the result. It's not a result. It's not a result of many things. The result, the purpose of it is to have a spiritual awakening, and that just kind of takes care of that whole. As we talked about before, the more that you enlarge your spiritual life, the tides of life flow endlessly. Better or worse don't seem so drastic from each other anymore. Good and bad don't seem drastic from each other anymore. It's all that acceptance thing, the acceptance that we also touched on in the stories. It's just so important. It seems crazy almost that I just need to put my food on the scale, and everything's good, and the day is going to be a good day. I don't know. It just works. So I'm going to keep doing it. And that's what I got on that.
Oh, the ups and downs. Yes. I think I had a delusion coming in thinking that once I got the food managed, that everything would be hunky dory. You know, once I had those steps under, those ups and downs are so important. I would not grow if I didn't have those ups and downs. I would not. It would not be possible. So, and I just love, Lulu, thank you for the reminder, and just the thought that my sobriety has got to be separate from whatever's going on. Because I remember I remember that before program, it was just like, oh my gosh, this is happening in my life, so I deserve a XYZ, or I'm going to just, oh, forget it, I'm just going to, you know. And just being able to face those ups and downs with a clear head just makes all the difference in the world for me. Thanks, Lulu.